Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I'll try to make this as quick, painless as possible. If you have any questions throughout, I will answer them at the end of the brief presentation. You can type them in the captain's box and then I will answer. Let's get started. So we'll just kind of cover the big rule changes. Since you guys are returning captains, you know most of the rules, but we'll cover this stuff. Cover the why you're now paying $25 instead of $22 per team. Talk about the plus leagues that you know by now, any of our 70 and over players, and a couple of the 2020 rule changes that we didn't get to put into effect last year because of the change in the situation. So if you notice when you register for your team, you're now being charged $25. The Midwest has added, similar to TennisLink, a $3 head tax to each registration. I can't speak to as why, but my guess would be they took a pretty big hit last year and are trying to make up for lost revenue. So, but the district wants you guys to know that we did not raise our fee at all. Our fee is still $19. TennisLink adds $3, and now the Midwest is adding $3 as well. So just wanted to let you guys know where that extra $3 is coming from. For our 4-5, 5-0 players, you've probably known by now there are no more plus leagues. 5-0 plus and 40 and over, 4-5 plus, just simply 5-0 and 4-5. People apparently at the national level felt better competition without those upper level players playing, so they cannot exceed the stated rating of the league. If you are one of our 70 and over players, when you go on to TennisLink and click the appeal button, if you fall within a certain range and it's much larger than the normal appeal down range, if you hit the button, you should be granted that appeal. Now they're not automatic. You have to fall within that range, but it's, like I said, it's a little bit bigger. So there's that. All right. The big one from 2020 that we didn't implement is the new scheduling guidelines. Facility is hosting 2 or less matches during a weekday evening. That's Monday through Friday. First match cannot begin before 6:30, except of course if you're playing outside. You're worried about light. Now, of course, if you're the only team playing outside for a match, I think you could get away with starting at 6:30 and not be worried about, darkness. Of course, maybe not the first week or two, but afterwards you should be fine. Teams from indoor facilities that use outdoor courts, teams from forecourt facilities that have more than one scheduled match, say for example a green. Would be a forecourt facility that wouldn't be able to do that. And then of course if the both captains agree to the start time. As you probably know by now, if you're a 40 and over player, the new playoff format starting with the qualifier round for 40 and over is 1 singles, 3 doubles. That's a national change, not us. They'll break down ties, which there's going to be 2 2s. It comes down to, I believe, sets lost, then games lost, then percentage of games won, and then I believe the winner of the first doubles court is the last tiebreaker if all those are tied. I'm almost positive that's the order. Don't quote me for 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. Okay, just reviewing all this stuff that you guys know, kind of go over it real quick. The individual court defaults, try to limit them as much as you can. Make sure you're just communicating with the other team. Don't wait till the last minute. Never show up to a match and default to court without telling them. That's the worst possible thing you can do. So be in communication with your opponents on that. Typical match day etiquette, again, all stuff you guys are used to. Try to get there early. There are still some COVID guidelines in effect with, certain clubs are not letting people in at a certain amount of times. As captains, you got to relay all that information to your opponents. try to get there a little bit early, not as early as you're used to. And the big one on this page, of course, as always, stick to the 10-minute warm-up. That's really what pushes our matches back, is these 20-minute warm-ups. So please, please, please try to do 10-minute warm-ups. And of course, report and confirm scores on TennisLink within 48 hours. Grievance procedure. If you have an issue and they will come up, you'll contact me. I'll explain how to file. You'll use the form, submit the $25 grievance fee. The committee will get together as early as they can. They'll render a decision, send it out, and if one party is not happy with it, they can appeal that as well, and it's heard by a different committee. So that is all I have. Try to make it as quick as I could. Are there any questions as to okay, we got some questions coming in. Why is Northeast Ohio not following the national 40 and over format? Heard we're doing 2 singles. For the men, it is 2 and 3. For the women, it's 1-4. The facilities did not want to give up that 5th court, the additional revenue. They felt they didn't want to lose at this time. So we wanted to work with them, and as of right now, they don't want to lose that court and lose those players. Of course, we will look at it at the end of the year, and there may be certain 40 and over leagues that may drop down to help numbers, but at this time, that's why. Jason, email me that question, Jason Otto. You can email me that one separately. I'll explain that. You also get that when the schedules come out. It'll be in that email as well. But email me that question separately. Can players go out earlier if courts are open to hit around? If it's your home facility, you can. If it's if you are the guest, I would say no, unless you're purchasing court time from them. They don't want you using their courts unless you're paying for them. So I would say home team does what they want. Visitors should be getting either permission from the other captain or paying for those courts. Please go over the rules for late arriving players when you have to exchange lineups. Even veteran captains have trouble. Sure. So we changed it a few years ago. Player now has 15 minutes to arrive without any penalty. After 15 minutes, it's an automatic default. Within that 15 minutes, if they show up, they are entitled to their 10-minute warm-up, regardless of how late they are. Now, if, say, you want to put all the other courts out and say it's a second doubles player who hasn't shown up, and then at the end of the day, they end up not showing up, you just have to forfeit that court. You don't readjust the lineup at that point once the courts have gone out. If you wait and haven't put any matches out, for example, it's the second doubles player, so you're waiting for that second and third doubles player. If you're waiting on those 2 courts, then you can hold off, and then if that person doesn't show up, then you can readjust the lineup. But once the players go out, you cannot adjust. So the flights are published. When will weekly schedules be completed? Hopefully in the next day or 2. I'd say about 90+% are done. Just waiting on a few things and a few issues. And once those are worked out, they will be posted hopefully by the end of Tuesday at the latest. As far as staying after for food and drink, is that based on facility and what they allowed? Yep. So you're going to want to check with your facility. I know some are back to allowing people to stay, others are still not. So find that stuff out before you send out your match times to your captains, so everyone knows ahead of time what each one is doing. In the rules link you sent out, there's reference to a friend at court handbook. Where can we access that? That's on our local website as well as the national website. You can actually type in USTA friend at court on Google, and it should come right up. So please explain the match tie break 2-2. I don't understand. That's for the 1 singles, 3 doubles. not gonna get too much into that since it's not gonna affect the majority of people, but basically if you're playing 4 courts, there's a good chance it's gonna get tied 2-2, so then it would come down to sets lost, games lost, etc. So that's that. For men's 40 and over, 4-0, men's 4-0 over 18 is match format, 3 doubles, 2 singles. Yes, all 18s except 2 5-5-0s, 2-3. Please review again age 70 and over appealing the ratings. You can go on to Tennis Link, click appeal button, and the computer will give you an instant answer whether it was granted or not. And if you fall within a certain range, it will be granted or denied. Can 65 and over play any day that both teams agree on? Yes, as long as both captains agree, they can play whenever they want. When do you think schedules will be out? Like I said, the next couple days. For women's 3-0, 40 and over, it's a match 1 singles, 4 doubles, correct. Same rule apply for players turning 18 during current year can still register. No, that was changed last year or the year before. The player now must be 18 before they can play. It's a legal issue. You can't have, they don't want minors playing with adults anymore. Can your opponent penalize you for a foot fault? It's more of an official's question, but I don't believe so. I believe, as stupid as it sounds, a foot fault is a self-call. That would be something I think you'd have to find in front of court, but I'm almost certain that's one of those like double bounce, self-call, hit the net, self-call, foot fault, self-call. So without an official there, you cannot call foot fault on somebody. We are still using Tennis Link, correct? I know juniors have the new system. Yeah, so juniors are and tournament players are using what's called Serve Tennis. Adults will be switching over to that at some point. They said 2018 or 2019, so it should be any day now. Actually, I think it probably won't be till 2023. They've had a lot of issues with the tournament and junior side of things, so I don't see them rushing to get rid of Tennis Link anytime soon. Are there instructions somewhere for using the roster conflict and scheduling management tool on Tennis Link? I have never used that before. I'm going to assume there probably are instructions. Where they are, I could not tell you. Jeremy, if you email me, I can try to find that and then see if we can figure it out. When should lineups be exchanged? Well, if a facility is not letting players in until right before the match, obviously you can't do the 10 minutes before. So it's as soon as all parties are allowed to be inside the building, basically. Ideally, it's 10 minutes before, but again, if it's not possible, given what's going on, we understand. Remind me of when matches need to be played by within a rain with a rain out. I believe it's 3 weeks. Again, that's laid out pretty good in our local rules. There's steps. There's different procedures. Apologize for not knowing it by heart. We tweaked it either last year or the year before. I think it's 3 weeks from that date, if I'm not mistaken. So, just to confirm, 40 and over, still 1 singles court, 4 doubles, correct? If a player self-rates and believe the rating is incorrect, does the system allow for a self-rate appeal process? Yes, as soon as they get their rating back, they're allowed to hit appeal, and it goes to the Midwest office. It gives them a box to explain in detail why they believe that it should be changed. So if they have not done that, they should do that. This time of year, it usually takes at least 3 weeks to get an answer. They're flooded with the appeals process, and those people meet in person a couple times a week to go over all these. So that's how that works. Are there any other questions? Of course, you can always email me questions. You think of them later. So I'm just giving people one last chance. My email is adult@neohiotennis.com. That's adult@neohiotennis.com. 40 and over men's, 2-3. Yep, 2 singles, 3 doubles. All right, that looks to be everything. Thanks, guys. Nice and quick. Again, any other questions, feel free to reach out. Have a good evening.